Okay, so we're gonna do the writing. Y'all don't judge me, is all I'm telling you. Do not judge me. My writing is not great. My pen is a little trying to run out of ink, but I don't even mind that much because I don't want it to be perfect, okay? I want it to totally look light and handwritten and not like it was printed or something perfect. Hey, Linda. So I'm gonna start. I do wanna put my stars in here. So I wanna put them in so I can kind of figure out where, okay, so I wanna keep the first line between here, and then we're not gonna worry about the letters. Okay, so I'm gonna put Osei does that, and I'm just gonna handwrite it, guys. Don't judge me. So, and it's gonna be messy. O, say, does that. We're just gonna keep going. Star, I should sing it. Spangled banner yet. See, I should have scooted over and left wave, but I'm just gonna keep going. Can't pre-plan that. Does that banner yet wave? Or the land of the free and the home of the brave. Boom. So, there you go. Now we're gonna make it work. We're gonna make it work. Okay, so it'll be fine. I think it's just something that's gonna be in the background, so we're not gonna worry. Our stuff is gonna go right over the top. Okay, so I have Aleene's clear tacky glue, and I really want to put my stars up here. And since my A is white, so we have red, white, and blue glass, and it's not in red, white, and blue order, but y'all don't mind, do you? So it'll be kind of like this. And since my white is on the end, I'm gonna use my gold star on the right so that's not, everything's not really neutral on this side. Well, thank you, Sandy. It's a hot mess, and normally it would be like going downhill, because that's how, or uphill, because that's kind of how I write. But this time it worked out okay, didn't it? Okay, so this piece is, like I said, this was bottle glass, and they call it glass rings. I bought this on Etsy, so you can go to Etsy or eBay and just do a search for glass rings or cut bottles or something along those lines. That's what both of these pieces are, the U and the S. This was just a rectangular bottle, and I nipped off the top of that blue bottle, and this was literally rings, circles, that I cut little pieces out of to make my S. And I also, if you weren't here a minute ago, I also spray painted that red. So I would have a red glass, because you can't find red very well. Okay, so we're gonna line that up. And the one thing, because this is nice and heavy, and these are nice and heavy too, I don't really need to glue these down, but what I'll do for the stars is do my resin, lay them down, and do resin on top. But I do need to glue my A, because it is flat glass, and I want it to stand on its edges. So I want to line up my US, my US, I'll bring it down just a little, And I cut my strips a little short, so I'm gonna make them a little crazy. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna move this one out of the way. I'm gonna put a little bit of this clear glue on the edge, on that cut edge. Hey, Bev, of the A. I'm gonna bring it here and push it down into my canvas a little. Then I'm gonna make this one a little wonky, but I do wanna make sure that the cross between the two pieces fit. So I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. And I'm gonna put it low, right above these words. I might have to double up. I might need to grab another piece. So I'm gonna put this one, just a tiny amount of glass, just enough to get it standing upright. I'm gonna wiggle them around a little. See, don't want to act right. And a lot of times when you have something like this that needs to just dry for a second, you might have to prop it up. I'm actually going to take this little stick and just keep it from falling over for a few seconds. And while I'm doing that, I am going to go grab one more little piece of white to go in my A. So y'all talk amongst yourselves while I grab a piece of glass. Found it already, so that didn't take but a hot minute. Okay, so here's my bucket of fun. And I want to cut another piece of glass. And that's just a scoring tool. And I just scored a little notch. And we're going to add it right in there. Let me put some glue on it. It just needed a little more something. So we're going to stick it in. Beef it up a little. This one wants to fall over too. You get this to hold it up. It wants to be ugly. So that's going to take just a few minutes to dry while I find the top for my glue, which is MIA. Oh, there it is. Isn't that cute? So simple too, isn't it? Just super simple. And you can totally you could totally make your U out of the glass strips as well. And you could do your S. For all of those of you who are in the shattered circle, remember how I taught you to cut nips out of curved glass for your flowers? You could totally use that technique to make yourself an S, okay? Just you would have to use more pieces and just kind of stitch them together for the S shape. So you could totally do that. So I'm gonna let that dry for one more second. I love my little stars. And if you missed it earlier, these are stars that one of the ladies in my group sent me. They're actually little triangles that have been put in a kiln to make a star. And they were clear iridescent, and I just spray painted the backs of them. One gold and one silver. Hi-ho, silver away. Okay, so I'm gonna put the top on, and while we're letting our glue dry, we're gonna go ahead and just mix up some resin. So while we're mixing, I want to remind you that we are going to be live every Wednesday. Whoops, we don't want to move that. I want it to stay there till it's dry. We're going to be going live every Wednesday between 5 and 7. I will let you know. I'm trying to kind of figure out exactly what time, and then we'll be consistent. But for now, we're just toying with a few different times. So I want to remind you guys that we're going to be here every Wednesday. Until we decide on a time, just check back onto our Art Shattered page on Wednesday afternoon, and you will be able to tell what time to find us. So we're going to be making something super fun next Wednesday. I cannot wait to share it with you. While I'm waiting on my glue to dry, don't waste time. Let's go ahead and mix our resin. Now I'm just going to make 1 ounce. It's probably going to even be too much, but we're going to make it anyway. And I will pour it on my wings if I have too much. So I'm going to mark my ounces line. So this will be a 1/2 ounce of resin and a 1/2 ounce of hardener. Hey, Sue, how are ya? I'm gonna put my fancy pink gloves on. It's my last pair, so I'm gonna have to hold on to them for a while. Hopefully my ring won't bust through this one, right? Should have took it off. That's all right. Holy moly. Holy moly, man. I'm having a hard time getting this one on. So we're gonna go ahead and mix our resin while we're waiting on our glue to set up a little bit, and then it will hold. So I'm gonna pour a 1/2 ounce of, it's like bent over against my hand now, and it's hurting me. Ow, 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 I need to take it off. Look, it's busting through my glove. So I'm gonna mix a 1/2 ounce of hardener into this cup. Slowly, slowly. One more drop. Boom. All right. I'm going to put it over here. Then we'll mix a 1/2 ounce of resin in this cup. It's seriously about to bust through the glove. There's a piece of glass I need to get out of the way. So yeah, don't forget to let your friends know we're here. You can do that by sprinkling the love. And what we'll do is, of all the sprinkles that go out today between now and Tuesday for our next Wednesday's live, we will give this piece of art away. How's that? So we'll give somebody who sprinkles and lets their friends know that we're hanging out here today. We will spread the love by, I'm gonna set this here, by gifting someone with this cute little USA piece. So while we're waiting on that, I'm gonna dump my resin in my cup. You wanna make sure you get all that juice out. Don't leave anything in your cup if you can. Just get it all out. All right. Yes, it's about busting through this glove. Oh, dump. So yeah, guys, let your friends know we're here, and let them know if you think they would be interested in watching us make some pretty stuff on Wednesdays. Just let them know that we're here and that we're going to be here on Wednesdays, so we can have a bunch of folks hanging out with us. And you know how it is, the more the merrier. And if you do that, then somebody's going to win this piece, and we'll ship that out next week. Elizabeth, it's the graphic pen, the needle drawer that we've been using the whole time. Same old pen. And you could use a paintbrush, you could use a paint pen, whatever, as long as it is archive quality or acrylic, one of those pens that you can pour resin over. Thank you for the stars. Okay, I'm gonna start stirring. I didn't see if Catherine was here or not, but one of you ladies, Rima, are you still here? Will you time me? We have to mix this. Thank you, Rebecca. We got to mix this for 3 minutes. So I'm gonna stir around. Stir, stir, stir. Stir around. You guys, y'all, when I tell you the story, one day I will. When I tell you the story of how this all came about, you're all gonna flip out. Flip out. This is a guy I've known nearly my whole life, probably since 3rd grade. And you know how that goes. So yes, please sprinkle and let folks know we're here. And of all those who sprinkle between now and Tuesday, we will draw a name out of a hat and we will gift someone with our cute little USA piece. Hey, Johnny, how are you? How are you? Johnny actually is a friend from high school as well, who kind of match made me and my new male friend together. So Johnny gets all the props. Yes, it is the mystery flower man. Well, kinda. I did get flowers from a crazy person once, but he is otherwise the flower man. Yes. So, anywho, yes, definitely that's why we only use 1 bottle at a time, Marcia. We pour out of 1 bottle, put the bottle away, pour out of the 2nd bottle, and then put that one away. So yeah, you don't want to mix those up. You'll never get that sucker open. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, make sure you let your friends know, and we'll be back here next Wednesday. I think we're gonna try to do 6 o'clock next Wednesday, and then the week after we may do 7, and then just kind of figure out what's the best time for the majority of people. So yeah, well, yeah, it kind of was Claire, but I've really known this guy for a very, very long time. So it's just kind of a whirlwind and going to be a long engagement. So anyway, I got something itching me. Okay, so we're going to keep stirring. Remember to stir slowly. You don't want to incorporate a lot of air into your resin as you're mixing, so make sure you stir slow and eliminate a lot of those bubbles. Thank you, Emma. Thank you, Kim. We still have that dinner, Johnny. Okay, so we're gonna keep doing this. Thank you, Terrence. Emma's my new name that pops up every 5 seconds. Thank you, Emma. Yeah, it's about to bust out my glove. Be a big old tear. So make sure you scrape your sides. Thank you, Rima. Rima says time is up. So thank you for all the congrats, and we're gonna go ahead and get started, but remember to scrape your sides as you go, okay? You don't want any of that one parts on the side of the bucket, and then you scrape it out onto your art piece and it's not mixed. Amanda, make sure that your resin is room temperature. If your resin is really cold, it's gonna be more bubbly than normal. So make sure your resin is at room temperature before you mix it, okay? So I'm gonna move these so that I don't pour resin on them. And I'm gonna move these off as well. Let me pull this down towards me a little. I'm gonna move these off. And I'm also going to elevate my canvas. Let me see if I can do that. Elevate my canvas. And I'll put the stars back on after I get the whole thing covered, and then pour a little resin on top of that. So I'm just gonna drizzle right over the top of my glass, and this is all just like bottle rings and cut glass, whatever you can use to create letters. I love doing like people's names. I've done zip codes. For some reason, zip codes were super popular last year. So I've done names, cities, zip codes. That's wiggling around, but I'm not gonna worry about it right now. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you so much. It's a pitiful story, but you know what? Happy endings. You know, sometimes you have to be broken into bits before you can really be put back together again. So it all worked out, and I appreciate that. Tracy, I did not make the stars. The stars were gifted to me by one of the members who actually works with a kiln, and she made those for me. Or she made them and then gifted some for me. I'm pretty sure she didn't make them special for me, but she gifted those to me. So they're just little pieces of triangle all like pushed together. And you can actually do that just with resin. If you don't have access to a kiln, you could totally do that with just resin. Just cut you 5 little triangles and, you know, put them on an acrylic or a silicone mat, kind of like I do the flowers. And hang on, I gotta concentrate a little. And pour a little dot of resin on each little corner, and it would work just as well. So it always, yes, Tina, he does. Always has a plan. So anyway, you could totally do it without a kiln. And maybe we'll practice those in the circle. All right, so I'm gonna use the rest of my resin, or more of my resin, to just spread the joy on my little piece. Make sure it's all covered up really nice. All my glass is covered nicely. I may throw some gold glass on here too. Ain't no telling what I'll do before we get off here. I think that would be kind of cool though. Just a smattering. I don't know. We'll have to see. Sometimes less is more. So I'm just gonna pull it all out. Yeah, you could totally make them, Tracy. Totally. Somebody gifted them to me, so. One of our lovely members. It'd probably be easier to do this with my fingers, but I'm being a little stubborn. I'm being stubborn. So I'm just going to spread this out on the blank portion. It kind of makes everything pop, doesn't it? Oh, that would be a great idea, Sherry. The dollar store almost always has the best stuff to throw in to your art. They always have something fun. Okay, so I need to, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my silver star and I'm going to just put a little bit of resin on the back of it. And then I'm gonna put it over here. And then I'm gonna put some resin on the top of it. Just make sure it stays really nice and doesn't pop off. We want it sandwiched in there. So he is secure. We'll do the same thing to the gold one. We'll put some on the back, rub it around. Lay them down, and then we'll put some resin over the top just to make sure it's all stuck down well. Yep, I see some debris. I see debris. And then I have just a smidge left, so I'm just gonna go over my letters. It's not even a teaspoon. I'm just gonna run right back over my letters again to make sure. You know what I'm gonna do? Okay, don't anybody let me forget. Thank you, Sherry. These were gifted to me as well. I am going to add some bubbles, but I'm not gonna add them until we torch. So don't let me stop without adding the bubbles. All right, so that's it. So that was 1 total ounce of resin. This is a 6 by 12. Let me set that there. We'll take these off. It's so cute. Ugh. Oh my goodness, I took off some of my bracelets. Oops. I accidentally took off my bracelets. Okay, so I'm gonna hit this with a torch really quick just to pop any bubbles that we may have. So I'm using a propane torch, but this is totally not necessary. Of course, Gretchen, you can use tinted on your bubbles. Just be super careful and keep the can a little further away from the bubbles, and you wanna just mist them, because if you go right in on them with the paint, the air from the spray can is gonna move your bubbles everywhere. But yeah, put them on a cardboard box and just hit them really light with a mist. So we're gonna just hit this with our torch, make sure everything is popped pretty. And I'm gonna grab some bubbles now that we torched. I'm torching first, because if you torch after you add the bubbles, and the bubbles do not have resin on the top, you could scorch the bubbles and then they'll be brown and icky. So I'm just gonna drop in a few here and there, just for fun. Thank you for the sprinkles. Oh, I almost fell out of my chair. So we're gonna do that. And the last thing I'm gonna do is, ooh, there you go, boom, boom, boom. Is I have a little something in my canvas right here. It looks like a little fuzz, a little piece of fuzz. I'm just gonna scoop that out. Then I'm gonna look around and make sure that no more. I'm gonna flip a couple of these bubbles. Normally I wouldn't, but they don't shine as bright if they're upside down. And since we're doing the USA, we want them popping. Let's make them pop. I actually want to put one down here. So I'm gonna flip a couple over. There. All right, so there we have it. It was simple as that. I am really quick gonna show you how I clean my applicator. This is my girl Gina. Her family makes these alcohol wipes that are great for resin. And if you're here, Gina, or Rima can put her link on there for you. So what I do is just take my little applicator and I just wipe it off. And now it's ready for next time, okay? So you can reuse that over and over and over instead of buying stir sticks and wasting your money and having to rebuy. So there you go. So looky here, that's right, Irene. So here we go. Is that not cute? So I just used my graphic pen here over painted white, Anita's white, to write out my words, and I just freehanded like it was nobody's business. And I know, Cheryl, look at that, bling, bling, bling. And then the stars were made out of glass triangles. The U and the S is made from bottle rings, cut to size, and then the A is made from just sheet glass from Hobby Lobby, Michael's, the Interweb, wherever you get your sheet glass. So that is our piece for this Wednesday. And don't